is the annual report. Let me just share it. Yeah. This is the annual report of one company that is called Lakshmi Machine Tools, that is more into textile machines, and I think it is headquartered in Coimbatore. So South-based company, okay, LMW, Lakshmi Machine Works Limited. This is annual report of 2019-20. Most of the companies you will have 2019-20 now. 2021 is not possible because your year is ending on March 31st. Like this particular company came with his annual report in May, month of May. So the accounts get audited, then they prepare the report, all those things, and they call it annual general meeting, and that time they present the annual report. Okay, so you can see that contents, and once you go through your annual report, you'll find very colorful also. Okay, if I have seen the annual report for the last 10-15 years for any company, so the way it was prepared earlier is now a lot of difference is there. The layout, the look, and etc. Now. Okay, so like it says, it takes years to be seasoned to weather the extremes. It needs to be a robust foundation to hold on to the positives. It calls for a strong poise to keep moving. So you see that this particular statement has nothing to do with the company's accounts, financials, etc. But why they have put it? Can anybody answer? What is the need of this statement in the, I think it is the cover page or second page after the cover page, third page. Okay, what could be the reason here?
To make it
So it's to give a good
show their
message to
business
prospective investors. So someone who
Yeah,
might invest in the
whoever,
company.
not only
So,
investors, stakeholders. Yeah, stakeholders, correct,
to
right?
give the good impact of the company.
Something saying something positive about something good, something encouraging, something like that. Instead of giving a blank page or something, nothing, giving nothing, but they have thought of putting a statement. So similarly, you will come across such type of mission, vision, statements also in the part of annual report as well. This is so some creativity actually. Okay. So then we move on in an endless journey towards excellence, scaling new heights, and staying relevant. One has to look at this annual report, this company for the last year. Are they repeating this sentence or they are putting this new sentences in their annual report? One can always explore about it. It's our strength to stay the course always, encouraging with the group. So like that anyway. These are certain qualitative statements, observations about the company, and they talk about certain engaging with our division. They have three divisions, I think. In fact, this company's website is a lot of information is there. A lot of disclosures are in the website itself. One can always have a look at the website. Okay. Engaging with our people. Okay. So engaging with our suppliers. You can see people means possibly their employees they're talking about. A supplier means another stakeholder they're talking about. Okay. You will not find very specifically a particular company talking about the stakeholders so well in their annual report. It's not that all companies will be doing like that because these are all voluntary disclosure, voluntary information. They are not mandatory information as such. They have vision to enhance customer satisfaction and our image globally, achieve exponential growth and attain leadership through world-class products. If you look at two things you can say, three things I can say here: customer satisfaction, growth, and leadership in the product their service they provide us. The three things they want to be known as. Then their mission, how to achieve this vision, that's okay. And then their value like excellence, integrity, learning and sharing, and contribution to the industry and society. And it talks about what the contribution to the economy or India's economy, where they stand, some snapshot, some major figures, financial data, like the revenue is 1,664 crore, profit EBITDA, TDA, earnings before interest, depreciation, tax and amortization is 115 crore, profit after tax 45 crore, earnings per share, profit after tax divided by number of equities are rupees 42. And cash from operation, that is rupees 86 crore. If you remember, I was focusing on this particular item when I talking about cash flow statement. Cash from operation is one of the significant thing for any company as well. Okay, right. So started as a process has silently got over into organization fabric anyway. So these are something we can always look at. I'm not going to detail. Yes, this is a very important part of annual report of any company, where the management discusses about the company's performance in the light of economy, industry, and the company itself. They actually make a critique of their own both financial as well as non-financial performance of the company. And this is a mandatory part of any company's annual report, and the company is listed in stock exchange. This must be there. Okay. So you can see this is very interesting. I'll urge you to go through this one. It talks about very good, as a company's own way of analyzing their own performances. So one must go through that. And they talk about growth projections. Some pictures are there also. They talk Indian economy. Then talk about that. This company has 3 divisions: textile machinery division. They talk about that, how they have performed, what are the initiatives they have taken, manufacturing, assembly, and all. There's R&D, marketing, spares and services, the key activities of the company about textile industry, like that. Outlook, and what is going to happen in the future. Okay. So because you can see here in this particular annual report is covering the first quarter of pandemic per se, and that is last quarter of the financial year. So every company's annual report 2019-20 will have a discussion about the impact of pandemic on the company's performance, expected impact. Okay. So you can see that on competitive global value chain. So they have taken for Niti this particular thing. Then they have talked about spinning industry. Then you can see there's some initiatives they have taken. This is second division, machine tool division. And then third one is there, foundry division. So these are 3 major divisions of the company, and they talk about them. So like that, and they have 4 divisions. Oh, sorry, they have got advanced technology center. They have 4 divisions. Earlier they used to have 3 divisions. Now they have 4 divisions. So they are talking about human resource, risk management, movement in key ratios, and ratio. Like they say, reduction in inventory 39%, turnover ratio has gone up. We'll talk about this ratio in the subsequent classes. Okay, maybe tomorrow itself we'll start discussing financial ratios. Operating profit has gone down. Operating profit margin, it must be. Operating profit reduced from 9.65% to 1.38%. Net profit margin has gone down from 12.71 to 4.4. Current ratio has gone up. Okay. So like that, they talk about the financial performances of gross profit, interest, depreciation, taxation, earnings per share. You can see here, earnings per share was 174 rupees. Now it has become 42.12. That means there's a decline actually. Then they have social initiatives like that. Then there are corporate information, who are the key people in the company, key relationship like bankers, auditor, CFO, board of directors. Their auditor is S. Krishnamurti company, Coimbatore. Okay, they have notice to shareholders. So like that. So let me now go to the financial statements of this particular company. Okay. Any doubt at this point of time? Any curiosity? Are you there? I hope you are there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Sometimes there is no noise, nothing, now because all are mute. Today I'll urge you to switch on the video, not now, towards end, and I'll take a gallery picture of your class. Another important component that you can look for in annual report is the risk management. how the company perceives the risk and what are the measures they have taken for managing the risk. I'm not talking about this specific company. Any company will have a particular discussion about that. So please go to that. That will be giving good idea of the business management. So this is a financial statement. There is an auditor report, independent auditor's report is there. They have made a report about the financial statement, okay, which is now required as per the SEBI guidelines and corporate affairs ministry guidelines also. Okay, independent director is somebody who is not an employee of the company. They are independent. Okay, and there is certain guideline about how many directors should be there, minimum, how many minimum independent directors should be there. One can always look at that is beyond the scope of this particular subject, but one can always have a look at that. Okay. So let me go to this one. This is the balance sheet of the company. We have discussed earlier. This first thing talks about assets. And you look at here in the assets, they have got first non-current assets. Okay. By now we are familiar what is non-current and current. Okay. Then in non-current assets, they have plant, property and equipment, PPE or property, plant and equipment, typically known as PPE. Then they have capital work in progress. Can anybody say what is this particular thing, capital work in progress?
The capital that is being used for making buildings or machineries at the time of making the annual report.
It's not, let us note capital being used here, because for us capital is a liability. Okay, we can say resources being used. So there may be something being constructed. Yes, rightly or explain the later part. Yes, something being constructed. Maybe they're setting up a plant which is not fully functional. They're still going on. That is work in progress. But since there is a long-term asset to be created, that's called capital. Capital also denotes long-term. Current denotes short-term. Okay, that is another. That is capital here. Indicates a long-term here. It is not that capital, share capital or something like that. Please keep that in mind. Okay. For us, capital is a liability. Towards whom? Towards the shareholders. Here, capital means long term. So there is some long term asset being constructed. Okay, right. Then they have got other intangible assets. Okay. Then in that they have got again financial assets. In non-current, they have got financial assets like investments made in subsidiaries, some other companies, then some other financial assets. And you see here, there is a note number given. So if you go to the notes of the financial account, this statements, if you go to note number 4, you will know in detail about this plant, property, equipment. Okay. So because they can provide everything in this particular statement, so they have to provide in as a notes to that. Okay, we'll see that. Then other financial asset, the deferred tax asset, this is something I will not explain now because you need to have lot of knowledge about accounting and taxation, but this is one of the part of the asset. Then current assets, they have inventories. In current assets, they have financial assets also, investments, receivables, cash, bank balance and other assets. Then current tax assets, maybe they have made some deposit for the tax. That's why this is there, advance they paid. And other current assets. So total current assets is 1,26,000 something, and total assets 2,34,000. And total assets there is a decline actually. 2,42,000 has become 2,34,000. And equity you can see here 169, 165. Equity share capital, other equity includes your retained earnings. Okay, but total equity of the company is 1,65,631.44. That means at this point of time, the company owes 1,65,631 lakh to the shareholder, rupees lakh. Okay, or you can say 1,656 crore rupees they owe, around that much they owe to the shareholders. Okay, and liability is non-current, means which will not be paid within short term. Okay, deferred tax liability, other non-current liabilities. This company claims to have no debt actually. Okay, and interest paying debt they don't have. Trade payables to small and medium enterprises and to others. This is as per SME Act. They have to say how much they owe to SME and how much they owe to other people. So if you can look at their exposure to SME is very less. financial liabilities, provisions, current liabilities like that. So total equity liability also 234,179, which is same as total assets 234,179. Okay. Then they have statement of profit and loss. Revenue from operations, which are declined by how much? Around 1,06,000 means how much? 40% decrease, I think. Around 40% decrease in the revenue. And other income also gone down by around 10% or 8-9%. Total income has gone down by some 40-45%, right? So that is a top line performance. Okay, there is a decline in performance, and yes, at the same time there is decline in expense also. You can see the around 40% decline is also there in the cost of materials consumed. So that way you can say yes, revenue has declined by 40%. Cost regarding materials consumed also has declined by around same percentage. Okay, they don't buy any finished goods which is converted to sales. They buy raw material and convert them into finished goods. Then there is an adjustment for inventory here. Then they have employee benefit expense, that is also decline around almost to around 12% decline also. Depreciation has gone up. Impairment of loss on financial assets. Then you have other expenses which has a decline. So profit before exceptional items has declined 32 to 6,000 something. Then before exceptional item, after that 28,650 and 6,440. Then they have tax expense, that is 19,440. So you can see this is the final profit 18,927. It has been 4,499. I am not discussing other comprehensive income. This is beyond the scope of our discussion. Okay, because you need to know several other things accounting for that particular purpose. So anyway, this is the final figure. The profit after tax has gone down from 18,927 to 4,499.76, and that they divide by number of shares, that comes to 42.12. That is your earnings per share, which they have put as a key financial figure somewhere earlier in the report itself. Okay, so this is the key takeaway: revenue, profit, earnings per share from this particular statement. Yes, this is called the statement of changes in equity, which also includes retained earnings. How this equity has changed from last year to this year? What made the change? So you have seen reserves and surplus, and you can see here there is a retained earnings item, which we discuss in our discussion in the Nidhi incorporation, Nidhi OPC. Sorry. Okay. So retained earnings opening balance was this much. Then they made a profit of this much. Then there are some adjustment here for post-employment benefit obligations. They paid dividend of 3,379. They also paid dividend tax, and they transferred 450 to general reserve. General reserve is here, and general reserve also belongs to shareholder. So transferring to general reserve does not change the equity of the company. It is not, because here it is minus 450, here it is plus 450, and both of them belongs to shareholder. Okay, and so here you can see here the closing balance. This will become the opening balance in the next year. Okay, 2020-21 it will become the opening balance. Okay, so total equity comes to total retained earnings comes to 1,47,000 something, right? Next I go to next statement, cash flow statement. Okay, this cash flow statement is prepared as per indirect approach. Okay, I'll talk about indirect direct in some other class, but for the timing, you can see here this is your last part, the very key part, cash from operating activities, where they have got something. Finally, the figure comes to 11,677 before tax. So after tax, they have got 8,626.73 lakh. That means some 86 crore rupees they have generated from the cash from operations. Then second part is your investment activities, where they have what? Negative or positive? Negative, right? Good or bad? Negative investment cash flow, good or bad?
Good, sir.
Because it talks about the growth. And you can see here, they have purchased fixed assets, working capital work in 8,515 means 85 crore, right? So, but still they have received lot of interest and dividend, around 5,300 lakh means 53 crore. Okay, and they have also invested in mutual fund. That is a good thing. Whatever you can say, one can conclude here that whatever interest dividend they have received from the investment, they have again reinvested somewhere, right? You can see here 4,800 and 555 something, that comes to 5,300 or 400. Out of that, you can say yes, 4,007 they have reinvested. That's good thing. Okay, instead of using money for their purpose, they are reinvested in financial assets. Okay. Then comes cash flow from financing activities, where they have majorly dividend paid is a major item. And in the last year, they had one significant item called buyback of shares. This time is not there. And so 4,459, this is one item. That is your cash flow from financing activities. This is your cash flow from operating activities. And this is your cash flow from or cash flow used in investment. So these three figures together is equal to 2,932 negative. And that they have added to opening balance, whatever the cash they had, and finally they have the closing balance. Okay. So these are three major statements the company present, prepare, and there are certain notes to the accounts. I'll take the questions later, because I do want to talk about certain important things in this notes of financial statements. Okay, there is some questions. I'll take it up tomorrow, not a problem. I've highlighted some part. This is your significant accounting policies here. Okay, and in that they have talked about something called property, plant, and equipment. What they have done. So they have talked about how they have valued them. Okay, what depreciation they have adopted. Like they are saying land is not depreciated. They are very clearly, because land is not a depreciable asset. Building is a depreciable asset, but not the land. Okay. So they have talked about how they have calculated the cost of the property. Like they say, production, supply, admin, whatever expense incurred for creating an asset, that has been capitalized and they have become part of the cost of the assets. Okay. Any fees they have paid to construct a building or something, they are also part of that. Okay. Then I want to highlight here depreciation. So they are following depreciation, right, of the cost of assets less the residual value over the useful. If in fact we followed this same method in our Nidhi incorporation, right? If you remember that, like laptop value is X rupees minus the salvage value whole divided by the total number of years useful life, that was depreciation per annum, correct? And that is straight line method. So they have also used the same method for depreciation, but they have given certain useful life. Building is from 20 to 60 years. Main machine 8 to 20 years. There is general range for different machines. They must have specified in their internal document how many years life is there. So this is talks about different types of asset. What is the life, expected life? Like windmills 22 years, solar project 10 years, furniture 8 to 10 years, vehicles 6 to 8 years, office equipment 7 to 15. That they have talked about. They also talked about intangible assets. Okay. So they are taking that intangible asset useful life is 6 years for them. And software also they are assuming 6 years life. Okay. Because for amortization you need to have the life of the asset. So they have taken 6 years for that purpose. Okay. Then I have something else to discuss, very important item. You remember I talked about revenue recognition. Let me go directly to that. They talk about revenue recognition a couple of times. Like you say, how they recognize revenue. So they have got three major activities of revenue, major source of revenue: textile machinery, machine tools, and spares and job work changes. Okay. So they say revenue recognized upon transfer of control of the promised products. Once the control is transferred to the buyer or a customer, they can recognize revenue, and they are expecting that they are going to get something in exchange. That means whether they get or don't, they are expecting to get, they can recognize revenue. They are not saying only after you get the cash we will recognize revenue. They are not talking about that. They are talking about as per accrual principle. Okay. And then they have certain contracts with some customers. Okay. And contract maybe for 3 or 4 years, let's say. And depending on how much work they have completed percentage, Accordingly, they have recognized the revenue. Okay. And there is something called warranty. So what is happening here? They have also, suppose they have sold a product and they say the product has 2-year warranty. That means what? In the 2 years of its use, if there is any problem and there is any loss, finally the company has to make the product good, the effective product, the company will bear the expenses. Okay. What they do very simply, applying the same thing we discussed, applying conservatism concept, they say that whatever expected cost of warranty is there, they create a provision out of that in the same year itself. Okay, so that next year's income statement will not be affected by the warranty cost, warranty related expenses related to the sales made in this year. That is the what argument, that is the essence behind it. Okay, now obviously if they will make an estimation, they have sold 100 products, a particular category, 100 units. It's not that everything will become defective, maybe 10, 5, 6 will be defective based on their past history. They can do that. Accordingly, they make an estimation and create a provision out of that. So what will happen? By creating a provision for the warranty related expense which will occur in the next year, a subsequent year, they are underestimating or under reporting the profit of this year. Okay, so that next year's profit will not be affected by this particular cost. Okay, right? If you have some specific doubt, I will discuss that in subsequent class, right? And one more thing that I had highlighted here to discuss. We have talked about depreciation, we have talked about what, revenue recognition. Another thing that if you look at, they have got something called segment. Okay, segment reporting. So they have got, so it has come to the consolidated one. Let me just control it. Oh, just a minute. Okay, they have got all operating. There is a part. This okay. Before I discuss segment report, you can see this one, which talks about how this plant, property, equipment has changed from one year to another year. These are the carrying amount, and they talk about how, like they have additions, they have disposals, and then the gross carrying amount. Then they have a depreciation, that is over the period of time, and they have a net carrying amount. So gross carrying amount minus accumulated depreciation gives you net carrying amount. You can gross block minus net block. For example, you look at this one. This gross block 131.37. Accumulated depreciation till date is 90.57. So net block is 40.80. Okay. This is your net asset, which is part of your balance sheet. Now not the gross block. Gross block less accumulated depreciation is your net block, which is part of your balance sheet asset total, not the gross block. Please keep that in mind. Okay. So although they have 1,431 total 0.37 total PPE, but the net is actually 238.02. Okay, like that for intangible assets also. I should have noted that particular page for segments, and this thought is not throwing in the right place, right location for these segments. Okay, any doubt in the meantime? Acha. Okay, before you ask another item, important called contingent liabilities. Can anybody say what is contingent liability? Anyone? Anyone who can say what is contingent liability? Okay. See, liability is something which company recognize that they owe to somebody, some institution, some person or whatever that may be. But there may be something which is not calculated, which is not actually recognized at this point of time as a part of balance sheet, but it may happen, it may appear actually, it may occur in the future. Contingent upon certain things. Maybe there is a tax dispute. Maybe they have given a guarantee to someone that we will do this, or somebody does not do that, we will take care of it, something like that. Okay. So in that case, they have to disclose this as part of outside the balance sheet. So if you look at this particular statement here, contingent liabilities and commitments to the extent not provided for. Yeah, they're already provided for, like they have made that estimated the warranty cost. They have already provided. So estimated warranty cost is not a part of contingent liability. Okay. Yes. You can see there is central excise demand is there. That means central excise has told that they have to pay this 2311.10. Then income tax demand 207.70. The demand raised by the agency, but they don't agree with it. It must be pending in some court of law. And finally, court of law may decide in favor of the company or against the company. But the company must disclose it that this is something which may arise in future. Okay, but they are not part of the liability now. Okay. Similarly, they have given some bank and other guarantees they must have got. In that case, they have to take care of that particular expenses. Okay. They might have given a guarantee for the subsidiary or something like that. In that case, if suppose the subsidiary fails in doing that job, they have to make it. They have to do it actually. So they have to make a that disclosure. Yes, this much guarantee is something you have given as such. Okay. Right. Similarly, they have got estimated amount of contracts remaining to be executed and capital account not provided for. This is something they are going to do. So that is something they have to disclose as a part of contingent liability. Okay. Any doubt at this point?
Sir?
Yeah.
So these contingent liabilities, do they come under conservatism as we discussed in the last class?
No, conservatism actually will lead to make it part of the financial statement. Contingent liabilities is notes to the financial, they are not part of the financial statement. It is a part of disclosure, but not part of conservatism. The conservatism they apply means they have to make it part of the financial statement.
Okay,
What is the
sir.
disclosure requirement? Okay. I just talked about, right. An example of conservative. I discussed in the last class. Na? Can you tell me one example of in conservatism concept?
So as we discussed about the trade receivables, some people may not pay it. So we
That you make a provision for that. And one more item discussed. Two things I discussed. Two things I discussed. Two examples I discussed. Yes.
sir, I don't remember the second one.
Okay. About the valuation of stock or inventory, I gave an example also in the last class. What was that? Anyone?
Sir, so it was regarding so if the price of a particular commodity falls down or changes like after a certain period of time, you said that they always report the highest of those to
Lowest.
Yes, sir, lowest of those two
You can
values.
see here in the inventory they are saying inventories, their values they are presenting in the balance sheet lower of cost or net realizable value, whichever is lower that they are taking about. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. That is
Yes.
an application of conservatism concept. Okay. So even if the value of the inventory goes up, they will not record the higher value. They still know the lower value. Okay. Right. Okay, can you please quickly switch on your video, all of you, as many of you? Looks good? Looks good, na? You are part of which classroom? NR 432 or NC 231? Which number? But the only problem is that I am also part of the class. Where am I? I don't see myself. Where am I? On the last bench, as per this one. Okay, now if you switch on the video, as many of you should switch. How many? There are only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 40, 45 people are switched on the video out of 200 students, 200 plus. Total, how many are attending today? I don't know. 178. Great number. Okay, so take care. So tomorrow we are meeting at 8 a.m. and nudge your friends to be part of the assignment tomorrow in the part of the class. Okay, right? Keep smiling. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
Right. Tomorrow we'll discuss about financial statement analysis, ratio analysis. We'll talk about that. If you are given a statement, we talked partly in today in the when talking Lakshmi machine works, but we are going to still talk about that in the more about the analyzing financial statement in the subsequent class. Okay, bye bye. See you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So.
Okay, bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.